what define or Thiago Silva. Jai video now when was on social media gurus. He said what that so I think that is more important. I will say players in as much as I am interested in the clubs making sure and helping the club players with their welfare. No. Players now soon take your own lives upon themselves. They be make us say inipa obobra hwe baby a free baby a shase any baby a pesa oko say hu baby a free a e ma wo sebi
but I'm question me say at first no one say the players welfare no and priorities should be the main focus and afina what be realize it.
I mean, right now, maybe picking up from ex-players' point. But coming to Kotoko, for instance, when we heard the story that Kotoko were owing players to the tune of about 4 months, which later, now Honorable Prince Christ say 2 months, me feel say Kotoko Nehas should be pace setters in Ghana football. What I say, Kotoko Nehas shouldn't be owing players. Adiwe I watch it. They be a TB, and the player cut. Kotoko Nehas, and the player cut. Me feel say it's a offset is idea. You know, we've been talking about how to promote our league and how to get fans to the stadium. One thing we should do is to make sure that the players are happy, so they are playing their heart out. If a player is happy and playing his heart out, the league now started gaining the momentum and the attractiveness that we are all seeking for. But Sekobasa Yenchi player no car. And then on the day of function, a boost for the on for Imagine Park and so. What energy, desire, enthusiasm Ben are expected from the player? I'd say we are Jumani in Chauka. How do you expect the worker to give off his best? In that field, sir, Nana and Person realizing that those are some of the things that made him the so-called professional CEO that Kotoko aspired to have. And I'm shocked that I've been working the same way. Just like you said, sir, I've been one who and I don't know. Because me see a couple of interviews. When he came into office,
I mean, when he came on board, no, we say high sense for sponsorship. So many sponsorships.
It's not about sponsorship. Sponsorship Kotoko team niso. Kotoko team niso. They have other bills to offset. You know, Kotoko are big. Until getting sponsorship is the first step. But utilization and distribution, and Ghana too, you know. Me and yourself, we know, say, sometimes clubs, no, Mikaisa Kotoko sign MTN contract be at the Bashir for time. Edru maybe enough, your muche is Karokranema. Even credit ni a year, Muka, some of the players, and I thought that they have to be calling the Sana. But I won't say Ghana corporate body, no, any corporate world, no, most of them are not as professional as they should be. I don't know, say, be almost so returns, I said, so munya.
Yeah.
But I think, say, once a contract is signed, the contract is signed. And
but the contract should not bind both clubs. Say, the club will give me this, and I also give you the
what
club
the club
this.
does is supporters be patronizing stuff.
If you are not doing, you call sign out the Osaka chats now when you eventually no the Pakwa so person or massive
but I don't expect Kotoko to do.
What's it?
Kotoko should carry MTN cars go
no, but that is they have to use the medium.
They give you the
medium to
Kotoko
just
has the biggest platform. And Kotoko never saw MTN cards. And some cards are Kotoko. Oh, say what's the doing now?
I say almost
Kotoko Road is
Kotoko Road says so the only thing is when they want to we pay just sponsorship. Of say about amount for patronize on product. And if they are not patronizing the product, now maybe this kind of power. Then you side of the bag, you know, you couldn't.
Did you hear any MTN officer come out and say, "Yekase Kotoko supporters"?
So
estimate me ba. Estimate say Kotoko supporters. Patronize bia 100 million SIM cards, but oman to me I'm patronizing to yintia.
And me friend say me di music aba be chimna anye ya na me nya man kosa so I cannot do that one. I have to make sure say o di aba until the other man me music me nya me then me betray oka
Kalu, you're not making a valid argument. I've not heard any MTN and a corporate world be complaining about Kotoko has the biggest supporting front in Ghana. It is a amount access and say we have a deal with you, utilize our funds. You don't expect Kotoko to come and pick MTN cards on their head and go sell.
So I didn't
Tell me,
know.
Kotoko,
If you maximize the profit, why are you saying MTN? No? Well, when is the time for them to pay them? No, they have to go and chase the money.
Now, only Saudi way work on football. What did you make church?
Because
they don't even radio cry. Radio cry. If you have best signing contract with you in Ghana. Say at the end of the month, memo say, "Bomije." Well, make I say na me ye solid FM na my jingle. Say one born jingle. Say oh yes, person ni be out born there earlier. Now tune in one thing there. He'll be the first person to come as and then maintain me jingle no. Meanwhile, be crowd no abansa na tune. Then, but so me so na ya asem. But the jingle no more there. And your kind for say masa maintain me jingle no. It's nipa so na Ghana so ankasa in particular. You know, Kalu, you know. It's a corporate world, you know. They are not. I mean,
socially. Say the clubs, the friends, the stakeholders, you know, they don't put friends in the corporate world, you know, corporate body in Ghana in check because someone will take it for granted. You like say, I know
no, the problem.
Because how could MTN in Nigeria, MTN in South Africa will be giving more to those clubs over there, but in Ghana, there, no, Madam Machi. How could that be?
The problem we have is Ghana no sponsor anything. Ghana corporate world no omunya edi. Eti Kotoko MTN.
Do kunya so papa. So papa no.
Unche akra o me de baba so but just like you are saying Nigeria it's economically viable than Ghana because Nigeria corporate world ni be in Ghana. So I just say I mean, Africa problem mismanagement because Nigeria a big time population, and Nigeria a business. What's Nigeria for more business? They are just.
And South Africa.
South Africa is more or less like a brutary. We are brutary because more fun it's not you know,
No. Well, that's
the point I'm making. Say, baby, I'm not foot na che. Say South Africa okay. South Africa no more foot na che. It's your mother.
Kind of abrofu. Etra watch mrofu.
Mrofu yin wrong.
E mrofu wrong. Mrofu ye twi. Papa abrofu.
Hona ka sa cho.
You be so twi. Yan kan mrofu, yan kan abrofu.
Hona ka sa cho.
Me na me ka cho.
It's not true. Oh, Fantino na be che me twi.
Me batile. Asatire onim twi.
Oh, Fantino na be che.
Asatire otim twi.
O kam mrofu a unti.
O kam mrofu, e kan abrofu. Oh, say dey be mrofu.
Kalisha pa.
Koso
ma obia
Obi afre.
No me che.
Asope coffee dey be cheche mu.
So the point I'm trying to make is that those places they respect the clubs. That is point number one.
That's right.
Those places lost a year. Juma South Africa, you sue people can sue you. Lost flow. Rule of law works. But Ghana, it doesn't. It doesn't in Ghana. So that is a problem. Mima was like, one, the clubs are respected in Nigeria and in South Africa. Two, the viability of their economy, nature say, so we MTN, now say winya, Enugu Rangers, now no more deal. Now say one for fellow part of the dealer, Vodafone, able to me take over, and a Globacom, able to me take over. They have other competitors are equally viable and almost strong. What you say? But Ghana no corporate world, we Vodafone MTN asa why be maka just a bitters ni why ka crave no more the money at this so yeah, you corporate world. Kalusha, it's a serious thing American. Once the corporate world in Ghana no form. Once I say
I don't think sir they don't know how to write a strong sponsorship a year.
Nance about what? Nance we ni buy no. The high sense money ade no. And I saw Ukraine na school money ade na say they are getting on board no more work because I was watching say Nasco for no a part of the league, right? Because I saw say player BOG man of the match be award man on
Nasco for
na. So one na aba na I say, "Onzo mo nyina mo fi Middle East." No be take over no mo bo kakra. So your corporate world no and competitive. If the corporate world is competitive, say only Vodafone sign deal no onya onim say MTN beba be J friend is him. Into but you know a problem. And again, the clubs don't also package themselves well. But back to the player welfare, Kalusha, all I'm saying, one may divert and crack commercialization. Player welfare, I think, say, Nana Yamponsa, you see, Sebi, kwasia no onse sana adwene. What you say? And nipa bia, no matter how learned you are, professional you are, knowledgeable you might be, you usua there on the job.
Learn on the job.
Yeah, you learn on the job. I think Nana Yamponsa is learning on the job. Maybe some of the things or cars or buy initial and buy to me and na adia ba kwa we team CEO esekalu hwen yi player welfare because Kotoko team kese. It is almost player welfare no elakia na ugu team nanimu.
Right.
So I think it's something they really need to take a good look at. And I'm happy he's going into that area and saying, say, look, we've made mistakes. But now we have to come back to our senses and make sure, because the fulcrum of the team is the playing board. Kotoko hierarchy. You can have the board, you can have the management. You come down to support players, then supporters. In terms of organizational structure, you start from the owner, Kotoko CEO, right? And then it comes to the board, then it comes to management, then it comes to maybe the coaching staff, playing body, supporters. Now about to, but players. Without them, there's no Kotoko. But we tend to sometimes ignore and forget that fact. So they might not be the top of the organizational structure or the hierarchy, but they are the most important.
The players.
Without them, there's no board.
Yes.
What would the board be doing?
Yes.
Without them, there's no management.
Yeah.
Without players, what would be the job of the coach? And without the players, Utumfo don't have a team.
Yes.
See, the club is the players, but we sometimes forget. What I say, we sometimes forget the players now. Your management, or we just catching players. If I should go, see, I say, kind of cranny a call. Sika, now be an anaya on Ponsajia, a manta, a betchan Kotoko players. I'm telling you. But once I know, honorable points by anaya can't Tottenham Space, as I was say, Papa never said. Daniel Levy, no crown a highest paid CEO, and was in $100,000 a month. Players, no say she plays on no crown highest in England. So it tells you that the players get more pay than the management members and the coaching staff. Because
some of the players, not all the players.
Or say, you're a student of research. So in general perspective, and in the bigger size now, players no coach Chelsea. And you're sure Thomas took by names and 5 million the whole year. But who can't players no pay boomer? We get 325 a week. Mountain saying times the year. But the point I'm trying to make is that Kotoko should prioritize the players. What I say?
Yes.